because we're the visuals, Beyonce. I still am hopeful that we will get the Renaissance visuals. So
that's Virgo-esque behavior. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing to you, but you gonna hear it in this album how I
right.
Really
The song I'm feeling today, I don't know. Actually, I feel like I've just been going this day like this. I've been like, there's no song that's coming to mind, but I would say the song that I've been like listening to a lot, or yeah, the type of song I've been listening to a lot is Drunken Love, but the Homecoming version.
Okay.
The live album, because I really like the part where they go you. I'm sorry.
Oh yes. Okay, that's actually a really good live album. Like,
no, for real, I play it all the way.
That's a great one.
What about you?
Okay, so I had to take a second to think about it, but I actually was listening to Heat It all morning ever since I sent you the Drake one, because why was the Drake one so good?
I got one part where I forgot, because I listened to most of it, but I skipped a little because I'm like, I wanted to hear. I don't know, I was like, I like Drake, but I don't know, like I'm just used to it being a Beyonce song.
True.
So I kind of like skipped through it, but there was this one part where this girl was talking.
Okay, I know what part you're talking
about. And I'm like,
about.
oh, I like that part. So it was cute. I can kind of see it being, I was thinking like, it's giving me like controller, like
yes, exactly,
vibes.
Views Drake. And I think, so Afrobeats Drake is funny. I'm like about to go into like a Drake mood, even though this is a Beyonce podcast. But no, Afrobeats, like Controller, One Dance Drake is like my favorite era of Drake. And it brought, I do like that his version sounds a little more Afrobeat.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, wait, he really ate that up. So basically what we're talking about is Drake has writing credits on Heat It, and there's a reference track that somebody leaked that he basically like wrote for Beyonce, and it's essentially the beginning part of Heat It, and it's so good. It's so good. He ate that down. But yeah, especially the part where it's like, never met a girl with a smile like this. And it's so funny to hear him singing it from like a girl's perspective. He's like, with a waist the one like this. And you know how they be joking that he's like already sassy. So it was like him tapping into his inner like bad bitch energy. And
Drake
then
always been a baddie.
Yeah, but I love how Beyonce turned it into her own, like you can hear the difference, and then it made me pay more attention to like her background vocals behind everything. So I would say probably Heat It is what I'm feeling right now, because he ate that up. So now it makes me go back and listen to the Beyonce one. Like, this is a good ass song.
It really is. Especially, I love when she performs it at the concert.
Yeah.
Like, hit it. Like she gets, and it's just like her, like just vibing with the crowd. So
yeah. He, of course, got another like album cover.
Yes.
With a long caption, because we don't ever get captions from her. And I just love that she got more personal with us, because I think a big part of her is like, we don't really get a lot of her personality, and she's boring or whatever they say, but she made it clear this is not a country album, this is a Beyonce album. And one thing that she spoke on was like, this is something that came to play for over 5 years. This is something that came out of my own experience of not feeling accepted or embraced in certain spaces. Yeah, I seen a TikTok where this girl was like, this is her getting her lick back. They're like, it has nothing to do with America, because it was, you know, all the think pieces and stuff from this week, because it was like the flag and blah blah blah. But this girl on TikTok was like, she's doing this to get her lick back, and I agree. It's like, especially because she's a Virgo, and that's Virgo-esque behavior. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing to you, but you gonna hear it in this album how I really feel.
I really liked her caption, especially. I feel like a lot of people, like, that was the main like quote I've been seeing, like, this ain't. She said this ain't a
Right.
Beyonce, this ain't a country album, it's a Beyonce
Period.
album. And I saw a post like that too, like, oh, so Beyonce made a country album because she petty. And it's funny because like he did, she's like, I'm just as petty as you are. So
right. Petty
Beyonce. Oh yeah, the petty. Yeah. So I think I love that, and there has been like other like petty little moments that Beyonce has had, and I'm really happy that it turned into a whole album.
Right.
That I'm really excited to see. And just with her caption, something I noticed with the caption was like, this is when she said this is a continuation of Renaissance.
Right.
Or actually no, there's like 3 main points that I like saw. Like one is that she's blending genres, and then how this is a continuation of Renaissance. And then the last part, you know, this is not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. So it just got me thinking, you know, what sound are we gonna hear? Are the rumors true that it'll be a mixture of genres, not just country, but definitely still like a Southern Texas vibe to it, I think.
Yeah.
And even the whole album cover, I've noticed that she didn't show the whole flag. It's just the stripes.
Right.
She just show the stars. And I know it's all about reclaiming like her purpose. It seems like reclaiming like black genres, or black genres that black people have started, and just like what black people have contributed into our culture, and like reclaiming it. So I was thinking if it has something to do with that, of like, you know, we built this, our ancestors really built this country, you know, and others took and enslaved, and genocide killed a lot of others to be here, you know.
I'm excited to hear what we're gonna get, because no matter what it is, I think everyone can tell it's just gonna be really personal. I feel like it might even be, because Renaissance was kind of like, this is a movement for everybody. It was like she's doing this for certain communities. But Cowboy Carter, whether it's like, you know, just how she said it's her experience of not feeling accepted, or even like what you said about just reclaiming like country music, or even reclaiming like her family's name.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be really personal. So I'm excited. I feel like it might even be like Lemonade level of personal, where like all that, like we know everything that was going on, but we never heard from her directly. We hear from her in her music. And I think one thing about that too is like, because she's gotten so big, her career is 25 plus years long, and sometimes when artists get really big, it's really easy for like, you know, consumers and like the audience to forget that like they're making music for, of course you have to like, you know, kind of make music for who your audience is and give them what they want, but essentially everything is coming from things that they have experienced in their life. And so like, yeah, everyone has their own opinion, there's always room to like for judgment and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, artists are making music to express themselves and talk about things they went through and stuff like that. So I kind of hate like some of the backlash or like the think pieces. Azalea Banks, but
why?
But you know, we'll see what we get. She doesn't ever say anything, address anything until the music. Yeah. We're currently less than a week from the next album. We're just gonna take a second today to reminisce on Renaissance and what it meant to us, and just our overall experience, because we went to concerts, we seen the movie together, we went to Club Renaissance, you know, the outfits, how the album touched us. Let's start there. Yes. What would you say, like, when you first heard it versus now, like, what were your favorite songs?
My favorite songs, so when I first heard the album, I really gravitated towards America Has a Problem, and I have multiple ones, like out of I think it's like 14 songs on there. I like 10 the most, so I really don't have a favorite. I can't pick. I don't necessarily have a favorite one, but I will say I think I've always liked the second half of the album more than like the first one.
Yeah.
Like I play it all the way through, and some songs have grown on me, like Plastic on the Sofa. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of skip that at first, just because I get where I was out of my life. I wasn't trying to be no lovey-dovey. Like, I was a complete opposite from that. I was like on my messy hot girl mess.
That's real.
And yeah, what about yourself?
Cuff It was definitely one of my favorites, which like it makes sense because we seen that kind of ended up being like the one that was on TikTok and like trending and stuff like that. But I think when I really got into the album, it's between, well, for sure, Virgo's Groove. Virgo's Groove was actually my most listened to song of last year. Really? Like, out of all the songs. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wait, I might be lying. No, it definitely was. It definitely was Virgo's Groove. But I think now I kind of want to say I'm stuck between Virgo's Groove and Heated. But yeah, I think a little bit more is leaning towards Virgo's Groove. But I felt the same way too when I initially heard it. It was like the first half of the album was cool, and then I think once I got past yeah, I think I liked up to that point, and then the second half I was kind of iffy with. But now it's like the second half of the album is my favorite. That album though, it's really like when you hear one song, you have to play the next one. You have to play the whole thing. And then it's like, damn, I might as well start from the beginning. Literally like banger, 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 banger.
And I think she did that on purpose. Like, it goes into the other. Yeah. Like, even Plastic on the Sofa and Virgo's Groove, like, there's that transition or energy to Break My Soul. Right. America Has a Problem to Pure Honey, and yeah, a lot of them have. I did like the transitions, I will say that, and I do like that because it seems like, wow, like she really thought of this as like a whole instead of like just like different singles all put into one album. Yeah, exactly. That's important because it does make you listen to it all the way through. That's really how like albums should be like created. It needs to be like some kind of like sequence and stuff to bring everything together. But yeah, and I feel like this is gonna be, because of that too, like this album is gonna have a lot of like replay like value in the future because it's just it's such a great body of work. I feel like it's gonna age very well, and I feel like it's something I'll show my children, grandchildren of like, what were you listening to in like in the 20s? Yes. I'm gonna say Beyonce, Acts 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, I can really see like the Renaissance tour being something that's like telling my grandkids and my kids like, yeah, baby, I was there. Like, I got to see it in person. I'm the only Beyonce, Giselle Knowles, Carter. Like talking about the outfits, like the production, because I think Renaissance, we talked about it before, but it really did set like a standard for like showmanship and production and stuff like that. And it's kind of, I feel like it's gonna be, especially with so many artists going on tour this year, I think people are gonna step it up a lot. No, they need to more. So I want to get my money's worth. For sure. You know. Like Offset is on tour right now, and he will. We've been seeing him get out of his like comfort zone a little bit, but I just seen like some clips, and he has backup dancers and outfits and like a live band and stuff, and I'm like, okay, he definitely took a page out of that that Renaissance look, because he for sure, I think he went to see Renaissance in one of the LA shows too. I know Cardi did. Cardi B. Oh yeah, I think she went to Kansas, like one of the last ones. I think so too. He might have even performed at one of, you know how like for the LA ones there was like a small like pre-show. I think one of those dates he performed too. Dang, maybe it was like the first day. Probably. I don't remember seeing him. Because he had this like Michael Jackson-esque like chrome suit
And it was nice. I love Offset, but are we really saying goodbye to Renaissance though?
Or is it a see you later?
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping it's a see you later because we're the visuals, Beyonce. I still am hopeful that we will get the Renaissance visuals. So I'm hoping when she said this is a continuation of Renaissance that there will somewhat get some visuals of some sort, because she did a teaser for I'm That Girl, like teaser visualizer,
right? And
I don't know, I feel like the BEYHIVE, like we're just, you know, we're still waiting for like the Formation tour film, but that's never gonna come. Sadly, but I'm so hopeful for these visuals, and maybe somehow, I don't know, if like we don't get visuals for Renaissance, like I really want, like, can we get visuals for Cowboy Carter? Like, come on, Beyonce.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I even want to say though, like, no, we need Renaissance visuals because it seems like, well,
Chloe looks she did on tour. Like,
yeah,
we need, girl,
all the looks, like, and then Renaissance itself, like when you just say Renaissance now, like you just think about chrome and sparkles and like all the outfits and fans, like they're so visually, like, it's crazy how like Renaissance comes with all of that now. How Nicki Minaj had on like all silver, and they was why she in Renaissance attire? Like
Renaissance silver, I think will forever now be connected like, to Renaissance.
Yeah,
like it's like you anytime you wear silver, people are gonna be like, Renaissance? Like, are you trying to like go for a Renaissance look? Like Beyonce has now, she owns the color silver. Like it's Beyonce came up with silver.
Yeah,
at this point.
I would definitely love to hear like some tangents of like Renaissance in like this next album, or even maybe if it kind of like picks up from like the last song on Renaissance, and like kind of that sound starts Cowboy Carter and it like transitions into more of like whatever Cowboy Carter is gonna be.
You may be onto something, because and on tour she does leave off on a horse on some Renaissance stuff too. I know the end it goes
right. Oh my gosh.
And then I feel like it could like something, because when I replay it and I'm That Girl restarts, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm back again, you know. It's like maybe she did that on purpose, because I feel like she could put any song after Summer Renaissance and it like goes with it, because of how Summer Renaissance ends.
You know, that's a good point. Imagine she just picks up from where she left off on Renaissance and it starts off like that. Because even like you singing like the little tune now, I'm like, I could see it starting off like that and then her like building up. Because that's kind of how I'm That Girl was. It was like, you know, she built up and came in and then eventually just turned into like a really big sound.
That's true.
That would be cool.
Actually, even... what was I gonna say? So, because even they named Summer Renaissance, and I'm wondering if like when she'll start, will we get like a Summer Cowboy, or like why did she decide to leave, like to end the album with like the album name in the song, like Summer Renaissance? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited. I just want it to come out already. I did order, I think I said this before, but I did order the CD box and the shirt, the red shirt that came with it. Okay. So I'm really excited about that, to see like what it's going to look like. And I actually did that too because my aux cord doesn't work right now. So I'm like, well, let me get the CD so I can like play it in the car.
Okay, I love that. That is a real fandom. Like, what other fan group is gonna be like, damn, I can't listen in the car, let me just buy the CD.
Okay, because I have like a Michael Jackson CD and then like hers. So
okay, period. When Cowboy Carter comes out on Friday, we're going to the Cowboy Carter like party on Saturday, where we listen to the album from beginning to end
in the club,
which is an experience I would recommend to anyone. Like listening to music live and then just being in the energy of like everyone going there to listen to it. It gives you a totally different experience. But with that being said, let's get into like Club Renaissance. How was your like overall experience with that?
I loved it a lot. Like anytime we were gonna go, I saw an event, and I'd be like so sad if like sold out before I could get a tickets, because I went to like a handful now, I think, and I even went to one night where it was a karaoke night, and I did I think I did America Has a Problem and Pure Honey and maybe another one, but it was just like so nice to just going somewhere that I knew that I was gonna like the music, because sometimes some clubs you don't know, especially out here in LA, like you don't know necessarily like the vibe is going to be or the kind of sound, and sometimes the people too, because sometimes it could be like dead, or like you don't like you don't like the music that they're playing, but the fact that there's someone like, okay, like I know I'm gonna like the music and the vibe and the crowd, like everyone's singing along, everyone's dancing, like no one's just standing around looking like, you know, like why are you here if you're not gonna dance or sing or dance or sing to the, you know, what's playing. And it was like an almost guarantee to have a good time. So that's what really excited me. And then just the fact that while like I can do what I do at home, but like out in the club, because like I already listened to just Beyonce.
Exactly. And do it with other people,
like the whole community. And I really just saw like it unfold before my eyes, like wow, like this is an era of like just the BEYHIVE coming together and having that sense of community. And I think was the purpose or intentions behind this album for Beyonce, was to build that community where everyone can feel safe and loved, and just create those spaces for us to come together. I really felt that in Club Renaissance, and so shout out to Rose God, the DJ that hosted the majority of those those club events. And I was so excited that I could say like I was there, like, you know, like I was there, I could recall. And so like whenever we're reminiscing on this like decades later, I could like, you know, in the 2020s it was getting, you know, I was out there singing Renaissance.
It was a time.
One time to be alive, okay.
No, for real. I remember like the very first time going, I didn't really know the album in depth like that. I had just been listening to it, but then going and hearing everybody like know all the words and just have a good time, like it really almost like forces you to want to listen to it more. And I remember like after that, like going home, and that was all I listened to for like months and months after. Like it would be days of just running through that album like the whole day. But it was such a fun time. It really feels like it was a part of an era. And I'm glad that we got to have like that experience of, like you said, being in the community, being in a safe space, and like being around other people that genuinely enjoy that album, because it kind of like preempted us for what the concert was gonna be like. And it was like you know, we already felt that energy in person just listening to the album. Like this is no performance, no like nothing like that. So having that experience, just going out and listening to a DJ play it was like, okay, this concert is about to be lit.
It set like us up for the live experience.
Especially because, you know, we were going out to Club Renaissance like with the same kind of idea, like all the silver, the cowboy hats, like it's Renaissance attire before Beyonce said, hey, everybody from these dates wear silver. Like we were already
I had a pink
kind of doing that. Yes. Now we can kind of get into like the concert. Like what was that experience like?
The concert was just, it didn't feel real. Even now when I think back at it, and I've been seeing this on TikTok, people are saying like, did anyone else feel like they weren't even really there, or it wasn't real, like they don't remember for some reason? And when I think back at it, I feel like I don't remember all of it, because maybe the whole time I was just in shock that, wow, this is Beyonce, this is someone I've looked up to for my whole life, and she's right there. And even so, I went 2 days when she was out here in LA. I went on September 2nd, and then her birthday one, and I sat a little bit closer on her birthday, and I got chills when she came up. I was like, wow, that's really her. And
literally.
And then also when she does Live on Top, because she came closer to the side I was on. I think I was on the right side or whatever, but when she came closer, that's when it hit me that she was real. I'm like, she's real. Wow, she's really right there, like singing, like this is a real person. But then after, like even right now, I'm just like, I still don't believe this woman's real.
Yeah.
I'm still like shocked that it was her. And just being at the concert, it felt like a whole festival really, like leading up to it. Like I was like getting myself ready, and then like who I went with, like we were like really hungry, so like we got something to eat before, and then like we're rushing like to go there so we wouldn't miss anything. And even the merch was selling out. Like I really wanted the LA shirt, so I'm sorry, but I'm kind of mad at you people who don't even live in LA, but you got an LA shirt. Stick to your city. That's all I gotta say, okay? Like I was really mad about that because it sold out by the time I got up to the truck that was outside, and then trying to go inside, all the booths were the lines were so long. Everyone was sold out of the LA shirt. So I was really mad about that, but I did get some merch. I got the birthday shirt, the book, and a fan.
Oh yeah, you did go.
I went all out. I had 2 outfits, and it was just like, I've never done that. And I don't know any other artist that has, well, maybe I'm late to the game, but just the fact that it's a whole brand now of its own, like it took a life of its own, you know, with like, it's not just about the music, like the fashion as well.
Yes, it's really an era.
Definitely.
Sure.
And Renaissance era will always be just a core memory. I don't think I'll ever forget this part of my life. And I feel like years from now, when somebody or I hear Renaissance again, it will just take me back to this moment, like it was just yesterday.
Yeah. So. This was the most I ever paid for a concert ticket to be that far from the artist. But one thing I did love about it is that Renaissance, going to the concert, it didn't matter if you were right in front of the stage and you got to see her up close, or if you were way up top in the nosebleeds. Because you got to see the whole production. Yeah. And it was like, no matter where you were setting wise, it was still such a great experience, because I wasn't like close enough to like see her really close, but it was nice to see the whole thing. And you're good. See the whole stage, all the lights, and to have that view of like what everything looks like in total, because that was also a really cool thing to see as well. And then the stage was big enough for her to walk around, so there was one point where she did come closer to my side, and then I kind of got that same feeling of like, oh my gosh, she's a real person. But yeah, it was such a great experience, and I'm not mad that I ended up getting the ticket last minute to go. I'm just happy that I was able to be there and experience it. I'll also never be able to hear Dangerously in Love the same again. Like I still get chills hearing it now when I listen to it, because it's like it just takes me back to that feeling of when she first came out. And like the smoke, and like just seeing people in tears and feeling the emotions of like, oh my gosh, Beyoncé. Yeah, it was such a great experience. Definitely the best concert I've ever been to, from production, from like the mic being on clearly.
It was on. Once on.
I even loved the visuals during the break. It was like, sometimes at concerts you have that break and it's just okay, you're kind of chilling, maybe talking to the people next to you, blah blah blah. But Renaissance was like, during the break, it was still something to see. It was still visuals. We still had dancers. It was a whole girl group that sang to us during one of those breaks.
I would say, because the second night I went, I sat on the side, so I sat on the whole
like
stage.
The obstructed view one?
Yeah, but I saw the actual stage, but I didn't see. She sings Virgo Grooves. She's like in that clam. Oh yeah. That's more in the inside. I didn't really see that part either. It was still a good show, and I didn't even see, or at least for that night, I wasn't able to see the whole stage. I think she still put on an amazing performance. And that night too, Diana Ross came out and sung Happy Birthday to her, which is in the film.
And Kendrick Lamar came out.
But the mic his mic wasn't working like the first half. They fixed it in the film, so in the film it looks like it was on the whole time, but when I was actually there it wasn't. And that was a highlight of mine, because those are like my two, I would say, like top artists that I really like. I saw Kendrick like twice now at festivals, and I've always liked his music, his performance. Like, I feel like as a rapper, he really gets it with like the visuals, and like he puts on a really good show. Yeah. So the fact that I saw them both like together, I was like, wow, I feel like it was my birthday. Like, it felt like the best day. It was like the best day ever for me that I was there. Like, we all got to sing Happy Birthday to Beyonce, and I'm like, well, I could say like I sung Happy Birthday to Beyonce on her extra birthday. Like,
yes,
you know,
that weekend in general was just like a lit weekend. Like,
it
seemed like all of the dates that she had, like wherever she was going to be, people were prepared. Speaking like more specifically to LA, like we actually went to a Club Renaissance event that Friday, because she performed on Saturday.
How did I forget that?
It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, because we went. They were
waiting for the people to come back from the concert.
That's good. They saw her live, and then they came to Club Renaissance to hear the whole album again.
And so we went to like a Club Renaissance event that Friday. We seen her that Saturday, and then we went to get food after the concert. And we're downtown LA, a ways away from Inglewood, and we're seeing people walk around in Renaissance attire. So they also came from the concert, but then not only that, there was so many Club Renaissance events happening that same night. Like, you just see people everywhere you go walking around in Renaissance attire.
The BEYHIVE was everywhere.
Yes.
And you knew who was who. Yeah. And I'm like, we just saw Beyonce, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then even just like seeing on the news, like her being there brought so much money to like local restaurants and bars. I think you talked about it too, like that weekend of being out in like the Garment District, which is basically like in LA where you go to get clothes for like the low or like wholesale things and stuff like that. Like, all of those little stores, everything was Renaissance, Cowboy, Silver, Chrome. Everything is like, oh, even these businesses get the hint that Beyonce is here.
Target had a whole silver section.
Yes, so even that is like, dang, the impact of it was just the impact was huge. That was even really something to just experience. And it's like, even if you weren't a Beyonce fan and you didn't go to the concerts or any of the events, like, you couldn't escape it, because it was just, when she was here that weekend, it was things and people everywhere.
For me, Renaissance, because I'm thinking like it's lasted 2 years. First it was the album that dropped in 2022, and then the concert in 2023, and then now we're in 2024, and I'm still listening to this album like I ain't never heard it a day in my life before. And with Cowboy Carter coming out now, it's like, it's just I think it's just reminds me of like, even to just move with change. And sometimes like, you know, I don't want to let go, like I want to hold on to like, you know, this moment in my life, but to know that it's okay, like how she says, it's a continuation. So it's not like we're gonna leave this era, you know, like just completely, but we're still gonna like take some aspects of it into the future. But you know, there is a change with it. And I think I even realized like my life now versus then when the album first came out, like where I was at in my life, like when Renaissance first came out, like I said, I was a hot mess. Just that I was a hot
We were outside.
I was very much outside. In 2022 summer, wow, I was outside. I remember the first time when I heard Break My Soul in the club. I was like, oh my gosh, like it just always upped my mood. Like even when it first dropped, when Renaissance first dropped, I just got this like boost of motivation and I went to the gym.
Same.
Like at midnight. I went to the gym.
Not at midnight.
No, I really did. I don't know why I did it, but I just was like, I'm just feeling it right now. And so I went to the gym and I was on like I think I just did the like the stairs, master stairs, and I was just listening to the whole album, and I don't know. Like,
why am I really picturing you like laying in bed listening to it? Like, you know what? I'm about to get my life together.
Anytime I felt, even now, anytime I feel like down or life just be lifing, because things were just changing and I was just experiencing like a lot of, I don't know, I feel like I was hitting puberty once again. And like things in life were like real adult things were happening to me. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like how I was not sure like how I was gonna make it out of that funk. But still like putting on the album, it just made me feel like, no, like I'm gonna get through it, like it's gonna be okay and I can like power through this, whatever I'm going through in my life. And it just was like a boost of like positive energy and like motivation for me. From the first time I heard it, obviously going to the gym until now, I found like live versions of it, like the live version on YouTube, and I'll play that while at the gym still today. So I'm still listening to it when I work out, and sureness in myself. And even like with love, like the whole reason why I didn't listen to Pasa Con Sofa as much because of where I was at in my life, or I was like, love right now isn't really for me. I ain't really, on that kind of time right now. I said, let's move next to Virgo Groove. But then, even more tea, it was because of a Virgo. So I really didn't care for Virgo grooves either. No, I feel like I've moved past that and I'm in a better place just overall in my life. So
the album really became more personal to me. It's when I kind of got deeper into that struggle, and it was like, okay, now I'm door dashing, Amazon Flex to like hustle up money so I can like move, and just applying to jobs every single day and like stressing. But that album would be like such a release and like really a lot of like motivation for me. Like, okay, I'm gonna get it together. It would be some days I would get in my car, it's like I don't feel like doing this, but I need the money, and it's like, okay, let me just put on this album from the beginning and then just go. And then it was like listening through it all the way would really just get me through how much time that was, the hour. It was something that definitely just motivated me and pushed me to like keep going. And I feel like it was definitely something like if I needed a boost in my mood, or I needed to feel better about myself, it was certain songs that I could put on. So I feel like, when I listen to it now, it just makes me feel really empowered. It makes me feel really like happy, and also just like feeling good. It's such a feel-good album. There's so many like just feel-good songs overall. It's really something that still like to this day it could completely like change my mood. And then again, like if one song comes on, you have to play the next one, and then it just turns into you listening to it from the beginning again.
It birthed this podcast.
Exactly, yes.
For us. And what is something that you just naturally gravitate towards and that you just enjoy and you do a lot of? And the first thing that I said to himself was Beyoncé. I'm always listening to it. I've been listening to this album front to back, like all the way through, and I just find myself like anytime on social media, I'm always, I at least see like one to like a lot of things about Beyoncé. I'm always reading on her and like the interviews she's done in the past, or like whatever she does, I'm always up to date about. And I'm like, I want to revisit podcasts, like having a podcast. And I'm like, okay, what do I want it to be about? And then I had the thing about Beyonce. So I'm like, what if I just started a podcast about Beyonce? Because I could talk about her all day, every day. I actually hesitated to like tell anybody about my idea or like to start it, but when she announced that Act 2 was happening, I was like, wait, we gotta jump on this like quick. Because things are about to start going. And just to see where I would end up on this journey, where this podcast gonna like end up for me, for us and everything, and just to see what would happen,
We're also just documenting like kind of just experiencing Beyonce in real time, and this like looking back on her career so far, and then also in real time, like while she's releasing new music and stepping into different eras of her career and her life, like documenting that. Even though I can't imagine a world where Beyonce isn't performing, like there's going to come a day where she's done and she's going to be a mom, and it may even be her kids next. And you know, it would be something that's like really cool to like look back on and see like, wow, you know, we were really a part of like, not like journalists, but like, you know, a part of really just documenting like our personal experience and what was going on, and the teas of the teas, and like social media trends and stuff like that. Like when you're experiencing it on social media and stuff, it's like the next week you're onto something new and you forget about it. But being able to like have a podcast where you talk about things a year from now, we could go back to this exact episode and be like, oh, remember like everything we were feeling getting ready for Cowboy Carter to drop and stuff like that. So I think it's just, aside from like what we're doing for our personal selves of like documenting our journey and stuff like that, we're also just really documenting what's going on in like music and what's going on with Beyonce. Sometimes she doesn't always get the appreciation that she needs because we still have her, but eventually there's going to be a time where there's no more Beyonce music. Everyone gets older, reaches a certain age. Like the greats of the greats, we don't hear from anymore, even though they're still very much around. And so I feel like because of that, she doesn't get the appreciation that we need. But I like that we're doing this podcast and giving her flowers now, and kind of like, you know, documenting like how we feel about her and her career and what we're learning from her in real time.
Her music and what she does for the culture like helps me get through whatever I'm going through, and also just to create like a space for the Beehive to come with no judgment, and just to feel safe and free to express oneself, and their love for Beyonce, and also the deeper meaning behind it, because I will always say this, I feel like people or the Beehive gets a bad rep for, you know, being part of the Beehive or Beyonce fans, and I'm like, no, if you're actually in it, like I feel like you'll understand it more. I'm just really happy because Beyonce exists, and I'm happy that I get to be here for it and witness her greatness evolve too. So
yes, and I just have to say to you too, I'm really happy that you brought this idea to me and that we decided to execute it together. And like really, like you were touching on earlier, like we bonded over Beyonce and like Renaissance, and I just see like the love that you have for Beyonce, and it like made me feel like I can't help but to be a fan. But then really getting into her music and the way like my love for Renaissance grew, it's like, okay, I really went from like being a fan to being like, okay, I'm the newest member of the Beehive.
Yes, we have.
So yeah, I'm just excited for this. I'm excited for, you know, this new album that we're gonna get in less than a week. Like we were saying earlier, when Renaissance dropped, it was just motivation and feeling good about yourself and stuff. So I'm like, okay, next week I'm gonna start getting my shit together.
No, for real.
I'm gonna start working out because we're gonna have Cowboy Carter to listen to.
For me, it's also the fashion and makeup too. Like just that part of like getting ready and everything. Like I don't know, I really love like doing that stuff. And just like looking like fly and like going to club. Now Cowboy Carter, and seeing everyone else's fits, and just the commitment, dedication, loyalty we got to this woman, you know, and I feel like it's also a way to express ourselves and everything. And I really love Beyonce for that she has created that space, maybe without her even knowing it, of like we're able to express ourselves through the fashion and our love for her music. Really excited to see this next act, and hopefully visuals.
Thank you guys for joining us today and listening to our thoughts and just appreciation for Renaissance as we get into this new era and this new album. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.